Hello everyone, this is Nitrogen here and welcome back to Science Explained. Today we're taking a look at food in general, the healthy part and unhealthy part, and why we should or shouldn't eat them. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic then. Well, food, the thing that you eat every day. Some consider it to be anything that is edible and you cannot die eating it. But simply being edible doesn't make it food. You can eat excrement and not die, you can eat hair, you can eat dirt and sand. Some people can even consume metal and glass. But these are not food, because you do not benefit from eating it. A food, at least according to Oxford Dictionary, is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. For example, bread would provide you with carbohydrate or starch, to be specific, which is good for filling your stomach and providing you with the calories you need. Meat would provide you with proteins, which repairs damaged tissues and help growth, fat, which provides energy, insulation, and some other minerals and vitamins. Even junk food would provide you with some nutrition. Okay, so now that we had a rough idea of what is food, we can actually categorize these food into categories based on their nutrition contents. First, starch-based food. Examples: bread, pasta, rice and potatoes is the type of food that you eat most in your meal. Like the name suggests, it's mostly composed of starch, which is a powdery substance when pure. And when mixed with water, it forms a gooey soup-like thing, which looks gross. But still, starch-based food have a very important role in our modern human diet. It's easy to get access to in large quantities. It's delicious, and it provides you with decent energy. Although being a sugar, starch is not sweet. But if you eat a non-sweetened bread, and if you chew on it long enough, you can actually feel the slight sweetness in it. I see your confused face. When you chew the bread, there's an enzyme in your saliva called salivary amylase, which breaks down starch into maltose. And maltose is sweet, and that's where the sweetness is from. Second, protein-based foods. Examples: meat, soy, and dairy products. Again, like the name suggests, it contains protein, which is another macronutrient. In fact, it is the second most abundant nutrient in human bodies. Cells are made up of proteins, which means the structure of cells, tissues and organs are all proteins. So, by consuming proteins, your body can utilize the proteins to build muscles and repair damaged tissues and cells. So that's why athletes consume a lot of meat. And proteins also contain energy comparable to carbohydrates. So, it is a very important food and needs to be consumed regularly. And then, this fat-based food. I know, at first I can't think of any fat-based food, and well, you can't call butter fat-based food because you don't consume it in large quantities. But then I realised nuts, cheese, chocolate, peanut butter, I do eat them in large quantities. Avocados and olives are all considered to be fat-based food. Some might consider fatty fishes and some fatty parts of land animals fat-based food. For example, salmon and pork belly. They do contain high amounts of fat, and you can consider them to be fat-based food. There's no regulations because I made the list. Okay, so you should always hear your parents, teachers or health advisors, if you have one, constantly fussing about you eating too much fat. Actually, fats are not the worst thing in the world. It actually has a really important role in our daily life. It provides us with large amounts of energy and keeps warm since it's a good insulator. As long as you don't overdose it, you will be fine. However, there are two specific types of fat that we need to try to avoid. It's saturated fat and trans fat. You might have heard these names before. Saturated fats exist in many foods: cooking oils, dairy products, meat, nuts, all the food that contains fat has saturated fat in it. And because of its molecular structure, which is a pure chain of single bonded carbon, our body cannot break it down efficiently. Therefore, it might roam around and cause problems such as cardiovascular disease or cancer. But do not panic, it is not a poison. you can consume it, but just be careful of the amount that you are consuming. Follow my advice. Stay away from coconut and palm oil, which is what companies such as McDonald's and KFC use to fry their chickens and fries. And also, the consumption of dairy products should be controlled. While drinking a glass of milk per day is good, you definitely shouldn't drink too much. And by the way, avoid whipping cream and butter as much as you can. They are not good for you. Same with trans fat. They do naturally occur, but the main ways that humans consume them is by the hydrogenation of oils, such as artificial butter and other hydrogenated oils. It is still a type of unsaturated fat, which, if you don't know, is fatty acids with double carbon bonds. Unsaturated fatty acids can be categorized into two categories: cis fat and trans fat. Trans fat is basically the double bonds of the cis fat gone the wrong way, and that makes it more stable, just like the saturated fat. Overconsumed trans fat will cause coronary heart disease and increase the chance of getting cancer and diabetes. So it is not recommended to consume artificial butter and other hydrogenated vegetable oils. And then at last, there's vegetables, or I like to call them water-based food. You might be confused on how can vegetables be mainly water. Well, I was stunned the first time I looked at the nutritional content of cabbage. In 100 grams of cabbage, there's 92 grams of water, which means 92% of a cabbage is water, although it looks very solid. Same with all other vegetables. Lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, even pumpkins have got more than 90% of them as water. So it seems fair to call them water-based foods. Vegetables, apart from containing lots of water, also contain some vitamins and minerals that we humans need to survive. So that's why your parents or teachers or health advisors always recommend you to consume lots of vegetables. And I believe that's all for the solid food. Now let's jump into the liquid territory. Well, in theory, all liquid drinks and beverages are all water-based. Still, I can categorize them in more detail. First, sugar-based drinks. Most salt drinks and juices belong to this category. Coke, Sprite, 100 Plus, Dr. Peppers, you name it. They contain large amounts of sugar. Although not enough to be pure sugar, soft drinks like Coke still have about 9% of sugar in it. Imagine eating 2.5 teaspoonfuls of sugar. By the way, that's for every 100 milliliters of Coke you drink. That, considering you are recommended to consume no more than 40 grams of sugar per day, is not healthy. So drinking soft drinks, not the best choice. Since this channel is not a health channel, I think I'll stop here. Other than sugar-based drinks, energy drinks such as coffee, tea, and Red Bull are also widely consumed. These are used to keep you awake, and some just like the flavour of it. So much so that they invaded 2 countries just to get more of it. Anyways, all of these energy drinks have caffeine, which is a chemical compound and acts as a central nervous system stimulant. It sounds all fancy and good, but when you look at other nerve stimulants, amphetamine, methamphetamine, MDMA, nicotine, and cocaine, you see where this is going. Caffeine is actually one of the world's most widely consumed psychoactive drug, and it's definitely not healthy when you consume a large amount of it. Luckily, it is not really addictive, so hopefully you will be fine drinking a few cups of coffee or tea. And for the request of a viewer, I will talk about another special type of drink, alkaline water. It's not really a drink, it's just a special type of water. Alkaline water is water which have a slightly high pH compared to normally neutral pure water. It can occur naturally as well as be made artificially via electrolysis. Some say that alkaline water is healthy, can cure cancer, can slow down aging, provide immune system support, all that stuff. Others say it is not so different from normal water and it is just an advertising campaign of certain companies. Well, I think a little bit both. Surely alkaline water has some benefits to the human body, just like regular water. However, it does bring some side effects, since when your body is acidic, when you suddenly become more neutral alkali, some things are going to happen. And some companies have indeed exaggerated the effects of alkaline water. So my advice is, you can try alkaline water out of curiosity, but regular water is still the way to go. It's cheap, It is healthy, you need it, and it does taste great. Unfortunately, I think that's all for today's episode of Science Explained. Hope you have enjoyed, and make sure to smash the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any more awesome videos of mine. Thanks for watching, and see ya!